Hello and welcome to Uniquely New Zealand, the show where I talk about anything and everything New Zealand. There are a lot of things I want to talk about on the show, but not all of them require a full episode. So this time, it's gonna be a lightning round with some fun facts. Starting off, let's talk about birds, more specifically flightless birds. New Zealand is famous for its large amount of flightless birds, and this is because it was uninhabited for many years. Because of this, birds had no predators on the ground and evolved away from the ability to fly. These birds include, but are not limited to, wekas, moas, and of course, kiwis. Kiwis have become such a symbol of New Zealand that kiwi is now a shorthand for New Zealand citizens, as well as kiwi fruit. The kiwi is also the symbol we use for our Air Force. Yup, the flightless bird is a symbol for our Air Force, because that is the kind of humor that we have. Speaking of jokes, here is a hilarious segue. Did you know that New Zealand is home to the hill with the longest place name in the world? Let's watch a text-to-speak program fail to pronounce it.
Tamata hake tangi hongako ao automati chirupu kakapai kamanga horonukyu pokai henu ikatanada hu.
In English, this roughly translates to the summit where Tamata, the man with the big knees, the slider, the climber of mountains, the land swallower who travelled about, played his nose flute to his loved ones. Which is almost as hard to say as the actual Maori word. On the topic of inconvenient places in New Zealand, if you can't pronounce a hill, why don't you try living on one, as New Zealand is home to the steepest street, Baldwin Street. And what do us Kiwis do with it? Roll Jaffas down it, of course. Do you people around the world have Jaffas? Well, we do, and they're red balls of chocolate, and we like rolling them down the street. Fuck yeah. Also, since everything I do has to be related to New Zealand, did you know there's a Kiwi member of the X-Men? He's not super well known, he was only introduced in 2004, but he is the half-brother of very well-known X-Men Nightcrawler. He's also kinda racist. His name is Kiwi Black, he's meant to be Maori, but he just looks racist. Speaking of racism, we have a long history of that. No fun, but here's a clip of Winston Peters, a very racist politician, saying two wongs don't make a white.
As they say in Beijing, two wongs don't make a white.
He's been our acting Prime Minister lately. Speaking of babies, you might have heard that a few years ago a Kiwi couple was banned from calling their kid For Real. But there is a bit more to the story, in fact. The couple decided on the name after seeing their baby's ultrasound for the first time and realizing their baby was For Real. Kind of a cute story, but For Real is still a dumb name. They should have gone with something like Forest Reality Wheaton. In the end, they were told they weren't allowed to go with For Real due to the fact that there was a number in the name, and they went with Superman instead. It still sounds dumb as hell, but part of me really wants to name my kid Superman now, so Well hey, it's good that Superman's a New Zealander because we are the only country in the world capable of taking out Superman due to the fact one of our government employees is magic. Yeah, we have a government-appointed wizard. I don't know what he does, I don't know if we pay him anything, I don't know what kind of power he actually has, but he's a government employee and he's a wizard, so that's fun. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, we're fucking nerds.
An vain enor, si abgen edregol, ani lair ovol. Linaurui urui, the obeli feriain, ameni luin, iastair a thirari dran. Thiar bain indur, a hastvair arandirath. O girithron, naninui, natha ovras, a harid, a hachened. No alwed, I lairlin.
Yup, that's the morning weather report done in Elvish. No, it's not done like that every morning, but once is enough. But don't worry if you're not a hardcore Hobbiton, we've also got the Star Wars apparently, because in the 2001 census, over 50,000 people listed their official religion as Jedi. And if even a single one of them wasn't joking, I'm cancelling this fucking series. Speaking of things that make me want to tear my eyes out, I'd be crazy not to mention Neck Minute, the popular Kiwi meme.
Left my scooter outside the dairy. Next minute.
People are still saying it to this day, and if any of you start saying it because of this video, I will cut out your fucking throats. In lighter news, there's also that time that crazy lizard government conspiracy person put in an official information request for us to provide, and I quote, any evidence to disprove the theory that Mr. John Key, our Prime Minister at the time, is in fact not a shape-shifting reptilian alien ushering humanity towards extinction. John Key responded by saying he'd contacted a vet and a doctor to verify he wasn't. And honestly, I believe that he would. This is the guy that pulled a waitress' ponytail for months, but that's a whole other story. Okay, double time. Our capital city is Wellington, human population of 4.7 million, sheep population of 27 million. Our time zone is one of the furthest ahead in the world. In the Lord of the Rings trilogy, only one scene was filmed in a place that was not New Zealand. Our lowest bill currency is a $5 note, because $1 notes are stupid. We gave women the vote first in 1893, our official languages are English, Tereo, and Sign Language, and finally, here is the greatest moment in New Zealand television history.
Campaign between James and Phoebe really heating up now. Thanks. Fucking library. This is the fucking news.
Welp, there it is. A bunch of useless information about a country you probably don't live in and most certainly will never visit. I hope you ignored all the important things about statistics and actual facts about our country and just focused on the wizard and our weird lizard government. Because that is truly uniquely New Zealand.